In college and beyond, anxiety comes from looking at all you have to do in the future. Depression comes from regretting what you should have done in the past. Relaxation and easy learning comes from putting in your earphones, closing your eyes, and focusing on the present. Don't try to muscle these drug names into your memory. Just relax, listen, and you'll pick things up, just as you would pick up the chorus in a song. My pharmacology students work late-night shifts or 2 jobs, try to balance work, school, and sometimes kids of their own, alone. A memorization-heavy class like pharmacology requires a lot of time they don't have, and studying for the boards, well, that's something even more challenging. When I ask my students what works, they give me 3 solutions. 1. Do a little bit each day. 2. Use audio learning in the spaces of time they have. 3. Designate the same time to do something each day. This book considers those 3 solutions. Firstly, you can listen to a chapter a day and be done in a week. Note there is a bonus chapter 8 with newer drugs at the end. Secondly, this audiobook lets you listen while you're cooking, bathing, shaving, running, traveling, or commuting. Thirdly, as a parent of 3 5-year-olds, I know how difficult doing something at the same time each day is, but I recommend that you develop the habit of listening to an audiobook before you go to sleep. It might not always be the same clock time, but this one habit will make many things better. If you're good with drug names, as you will be after listening to this book, you're quicker to know what a patient or clinician is talking about. You're quicker to pick up on a concept in a test prep book. You're quicker to answer board questions, leaving more time for others. You're quicker to get that stinking computer to get you the information you want. This book will make you much quicker at many of the things that slow you down, leaving more time for things you might care about more than studying pharmacology, like family, friends, and above all, sleep. I heard from my students that for pharmacology class, the audiobook, Memorizing Pharmacology, a relaxed approach, and learning 200 drugs was just the right number. But for their board exams, the NCLEX, NAPLEX, and USMLE Step 1, for example, they were worried that they didn't know enough drug names. They heard horror stories of students getting drugs they'd never seen before and failing their exams. This comprehensive 350 generic and brand name list with drug classes supplements the 200 drugs in the audiobook Memorizing Pharmacology with new mnemonics. While I'll write a standalone test prep book this year, I want to provide audio help for students taking their boards soon. While this book builds on the 200 drugs from Memorizing Pharmacology, you can use it as a standalone book as well. If you haven't read or listened to Memorizing Pharmacology, here's what you need to know. Firstly, these 350 drugs are in a specific order, and you should memorize them in this order. For example, the antacids come before the H2 blockers, before the PPIs, because that's the order of speed that they work in. The first-generation antihistamines come before the second-generation antihistamines because you can look for an improvement, a lack of sedative adverse effects in the second generation. Within each class, I alphabetize the drugs to make it easy to recall. Secondly, many generic drug names have prefixes and suffixes that have meaning. Many YouTube videos get this all wrong. My prefixes and suffixes come from the published lists from the World Health Organization and United States Adopted Names Council. I didn't get cute and make up my own. Thirdly, the ultimate takeaway from this book is looking at the drug name differently, using a different part of your brain than the linear, logical, to be creative and find meaning from words that don't give up their meaning easily. I firmly believe you'll be more confident, better prepared, and less anxious for your boards after listening to this book, even if you don't write a single note down. Pharmacology, I believe, will finally make sense, and your life will be infinitely easier.